I have been playing nothing but Zombieville USA 3D. Oh, what's that? You don't know about this game? Well, the game is the third game in the Zombieville franchise by Mika Mobile. If you were a kid and had the early symptoms of an iPad baby or had any mobile device, you probably played a lot of mobile games. And one of those games was probably the first two Zombieville games. Unless you're poor like me and don't know how to pay for games at the App Store, so instead of playing the actual game, I had to play like some sort of free ripoff of it instead. But now it's different. Since I'm older now and I'm able to get my own stuff, which includes games, and one of those games is Zombieville USA 3D when it's out. So there is a Zombieville 3, but that's not out yet. What is out yet is the demo of the game, which I have been playing non-stop since it was released. So I'ma just go straight to the point and give some of my thoughts after playing the demo for the past 18.5 hours. Yeah, I've been playing this game a lot. When you first start the game, you will be placed into the hub area of the game where there are three stores: a clothes shop, a weapons shop, and a perks shop. The only shop you are actually able to buy items is the weapons shop. The other two shops are still locked for the demo, but you will be able to access it when the game is finally released, fully released. When you are actually able to start the game, you have to go near the helicopter and stand on the blue circle next to it to start the mission. Now, if you're a player of the first two Zombieville games, one thing's for certain that you have noticed with the game is its change from the 2D look to the side-scrolling look of the first two games to a 3D isometric one. And honestly, I like this change because while it seems like a big change from the original games of the same name, to be quite honest, this change is kind of like a natural evolution for this franchise, changing from 2D side-scrolling shooter to an isometric one. So, the gameplay. I'm just gonna say it. The gameplay is addictingly fun. When you start the game, you start out with a simple pistol called a Scout, which is a nice starter pistol. But while you play the game, there is a lot of crates that are scattered around the map, which have weapons in them that differ in power and abilities that will also replenish after leaving the area and coming back. And you can even get new weapons by killing Zeds that have purple glowing effect on them that you can grab after you kill them. The weapons all have different rarities. Yes, rarities. And while I don't like old games adding new mechanics just for the sake of it, in Zombieville 3D, it actually works since how you play the game is essentially kind of like COD Zombies, where you face an endless horde of zombies that get harder and harder over time. Here it literally is endless. There's like no breaks with the amount of Zeds being thrown at you. So the guns being much stronger versions of the regular guns actually works, since if you're playing with a low tier pistol against high tier Zeds, you're probably not gonna last long. All the weapons in the game feel all useful, especially the automatics and the shotguns. And even if I don't find all the weapons like the throwables that great, there are situations that I did find myself finding an incredible use for them. But I will say that there is one weapon type that I don't really like in this game, and it's melee. And that's mostly because in any situation you face them, the Zeds, that be the early game or the late game, those weapons are never worth it. When you try to hit a Zed with a melee in the game, there is a high likelihood that the Zed you're fighting will grab you. And some of you might think that I'm just getting a little too close to the Zeds, but that's mostly because it's melee. I have to get close. What do you want me to do? Not get close to hit them? It's not a ranged weapon, it's a melee weapon. It's a close range weapon. I have to get close to the Zed. I'm not saying melee is bad. If you do a challenge run with only melee, it would be fun, but using melee all the time is not worth it. Especially since using melee, fighting one or two zombies is easy, but a group of zombies bunched together is almost impossible, dude. This game is still fun even with my melee gripe, but I want to touch on some suggestions with the game that I feel like if added could maybe be a great in the game, but again, these are just my opinions. I personally like the new gameplay that is being introduced, an endless wave of zombies that gets progressively harder, but so long as you grab different guns in your battle, you're safe, which is what I feel like could be a problem for the game. Now, I don't really know if Noah of Mika Mobile is gonna update the game, adding new additions to the game. If not, hey, that's fine with me. But I will say still that the game's only game mode being an endless horde of zombies that you need to fight back, will get stale even with the randomness that the game introduces. And another thing I don't really like is the fact that you're forced to play with different weapons, which, while fun and forces players to switch up how they fight, I think some players might like playing the game with just the same weapons that they equipped in the store all the time, instead of being forced to use different ones all the time. Now, am I suggesting that you should always be using the same weapon in the endless wave game mode? No, I think the strength of the game mode that's being introduced is the fact that you don't have to, you're not forced to use one gun all the time. You always use a different one. But what I am suggesting is a new game mode for people who want to use the same gun all the time, which is a lot more like the first two games of the Zombieville franchise. A game mode called Classic Mode, where unlike Endless Mode, you have to use different weapons of different power with different abilities, and also because ammo pickup doesn't exist in the main mode, which I forgot to mention, sorry, you don't have to switch to the main weapons that you like using instead, and with the crates that are scattered around the map, they are now switched with ammo or even med packs instead. Another thing with Classic Mode is you are able to go to different areas after you're able to reach a checkpoint in the game, like the first two Zombieville games, instead of the same area, which is currently a suburb, I think. I think this is a suburb, I'm not American. You are able to visit different areas like malls, campsites, and maybe some other new areas other than what's being currently introduced. But before going to the next area, you are greeted with a merchant, which is like the stands in the first one, where you're able to buy stuff like ammo, medpacks, new guns, which I just find funny, just a bunch of stands in the middle of nowhere with guns, ammo, and they're just there, you can steal, but the player instead pays. Who knows, it might be runs on a honor system or something. Anyways, back to the merchant. So again, the merchant would work like the stands in the first game, offering the essentials, but he also offers you a special gun which has the ability that can help the player, like the ones in the endless mode. But to balance this gun, you can pick up ammo with it, and you will permanently replace the weapon slot you had before by purchasing your new gun, and the only way to get rid of the slot is by buying a new gun just like the one you purchased before, or by paying a lot of money to get your original gun back that you can pick up ammo with. I also thought that the way the player switches areas is via bus, where the merchant is in it, or even a train, but the player could meet him in just like an alley or something, the same way in like Resident Evil franchise. Kind of like something like that could work too. While the game is still incomplete, I still had a lot of fun playing this game, and I can't wait to purchase this game when it comes out, and hopefully the extra stuff that will be added will make the experience of the game even better. I just do hope that the game has more than just one game mode, because while I know the whole thing with games like Zombieville being a game where the mechanics are simple and designed to be played in a linear path like other mobile games like it, I still would like to see some new stuff introduced with the game, because I don't know if it will become the next big indie game on the block, but I still think it can be a fun game for fans and any sort of newcomer who is interested in playing it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and play Zombieville USA 3D. Anyways, see ya.